Vanishing Point, a novel by Keith A. Kenel, 4 of 101. Part 4. Rather than heading into school, Sarah loitered at the bike rack. Most mornings she hurried to get inside to the comfort of Miss Shannon, where she would compliment her teacher's outfit, hair, or shoes, and Miss Shannon would smile and talk to her in a soft, gentle voice. Today she waited in the already hot, sticky Florida sun, sweat trickling down her cheeks, surveying the buses idling in the lot. Schuyler lived on the perimeter of Interlaken's boundary, and the bus that transported the children from, as Marty had described it, Podunk, was usually the last to arrive. Sarah and Marty had traveled eastward along Interlaken Drive, but Schuyler's bus would come from the west. She heard the rumbling of the bus before it rounded the curve and came into view. Waiting cars lined the southern lane of the street as the bus lumbered westward, and Sarah was sure she caught sight of her friend looking out a window from the back of the yellow Bluebird. Sarah waved frantically, but receiving no response from Schuyler that indicated that her friend had seen her, she walked along the front of the school building, past the entry door adjacent to the bike racks, and waited by the entrance closest to the bus drop-off area. As she stood beneath the metal awning that covered the area next to the front door, Mr. Lance, the late 20s, pale-skinned PE teacher, approached. "You need to get inside, Sarah." Sarah tried to answer, but was only able to say, "I'm just waiting for before Mr. Lance shook his head in response. "You don't need to wait for Schuyler out here," he said. "If everybody waited outside for their friends, somebody's bound to get hurt. Now move," he concluded, pointing toward the door and raising his eyebrows. Sarah wrinkled her nose as she gamboled toward the door. "How does he know I'm waiting for Schuyler?" she whispered to herself as she shuffled along as slowly as possible while still following the teacher's instructions. Once inside, she moved to the side of the door where, facing out through the plate glass window, she knelt and retied first her left and then her right sneaker. Sarah was a meticulous shoe tire, and an objective observer would have wondered why the girl felt the need to retie her double-knotted high-top keds at this particular place. But as fate would have it, the time spent retying her shoes coincided beautifully with Schuyler getting off the bus and heading to the school entrance. Sarah smiled in anticipation, but her pleasure was disrupted when Mr. Lance banged on the pane glass and pointed forcefully down the hall. Sarah opened her mouth, exhaled hard, turned her head to the right, and then spun her body away from the window and toward her classroom. "It's not fair," she said aloud. "All I was doing was tying my shoes." Sarah walked slowly toward her classroom, stopping to take a drink at a water fountain and then examine a poster on bus safety that hung on a wall. The hallway held few students, and she worried that Mr. Lance might find her before she reached her room and reprimand her, though she had done nothing wrong. She looked over her left shoulder and saw Schuyler, carrying a large Walmart bag, walking in her direction, head down and lips moving as though the other girl was talking to herself. "Schuyler!" she cried out, and her friend lifted her head, caught sight of her, and sporting a big grin, waved in response. Schuyler's jet black hair had short bangs that missed running straight across her forehead by at least 3 degrees. The back of her hair was similarly chopped and ended at the girl's jawline. Her blue jean shorts were faded and so short that the oversized 20-year-old Hunchback of Notre Dame Esmeralda-themed t-shirt that she wore stopped just north of her exposed skinny legs. Seeing Sarah, the flip-flop sound of her 2 big rubber sandals increased in volume and pace as she raced to reach her friend. "Good morning, friend," she exclaimed. "I like you on a t-shirt. I ain't seen that movie yet." "You haven't? Maybe we can watch it tonight. I like your Esmeralda too. Tonight should be so much fun." A klaxon bell reverberated through the school, and the 2 girls looked at one another. "Oh," Schuyler said. "Better hurry. We don't want to be late."